This presentation summarizes the findings of the EIA specific to the biophysical environment, that is, the physical environment and the biological environment. Information on the sociocultural environment is included as a separate presentation on this website. During the site preparation and construction phase, artificial light may be required during the night to supplement existing lighting for site safety and security. Light-sensitive or nocturnal species are likely to be impacted by artificial light. Measures to reduce this impact include limiting works to daylight hours and focusing light away from vegetation as far as possible and maintaining a buffer of trees around the quarry site. Solid waste will be generated during both phases. During construction and operation, solid waste will arise from vegetative debris during clearing and garbage from workers. It is expected that a waste management plan will be prepared and implemented to address these concerns. This plan will include measures such as collecting all domestic garbage in secure bins for proper disposal off-site and the sorting of recyclables for collection and disposal at an approved recycling facility. It is important to ensure that solid waste does not get into nearby watercourses. The issue of changed aesthetics was raised at the first meeting. It is important to note that this quarry is sited next to an existing operating quarry. The best mitigation would be to maintain as much vegetation on the site as is possible. Since the quarry will be mined in phases, this means that vegetation should only be cleared on areas to be mined and the buffer maintained. Additionally, a rehabilitation plan will be implemented which recommends replanting mined areas as soon as possible with native species. The proposed quarry site occupies a total area of 100 acres, which is part of a larger 365-acre estate. Of this 100 acres, 35 acres will remain as a vegetative buffer around the perimeter of the site. The remaining 65 acres will be cleared on a phased basis at a rate of approximately 11 acres every 5 years. The results of the vegetation surveys indicated that the majority of the site is a mix of natural and secondary forest, with smaller areas of abandoned agricultural estates such as tonka bean and cocoa or coffee. As noted previously, a rehabilitation plan has been prepared to provide an approach to replanting the site on a phased basis with native species. Impacts to terrestrial fauna are as a result of noise and artificial light, both of which were discussed previously. While there were no rare or endangered species recorded on site, one endemic species of lizard was observed during ecology surveys. Additionally, the Trinidad motmot, an endemic bird, was also observed. Both species are widely distributed and considered tolerant of habitat disturbance. During construction and operation, measures recommended to reduce the impact of noise and light discussed previously are also applicable here. This slide continues the discussion about disturbance to terrestrial fauna during the construction phase and includes additional measures to reduce this impact. The water quality in the Corito River can potentially be impacted by sediment, hydrocarbons, paints and solvents, and improper sewage disposal as described previously. Therefore, the mitigation measures provided to reduce the impact on water quality will also be applicable to address the potential impacts on aquatic organisms. As noted previously, no rare or endangered species were recorded on site. However, an endemic species of lizard and an endemic bird species were observed during ecology surveys. Additionally, an endemic plant species was also noted during these surveys. Measures to mitigate the effects of noise and light are also applicable here. Additionally, measures previously stated to reduce the loss of vegetation, including the endemic plant species, are also applicable here. An emergency response plan has also been prepared and included in the EIE. So, what is the purpose of this conceptual emergency response plan? To ensure the swift, effective, and appropriate response to emergencies in order to protect the public, the company, and contract personnel from fatalities, injuries, and irreversible health effects. It is also used to protect the environment from damage. Prior to the preparation of the emergency response plan, a qualitative risk assessment was conducted to determine the potential hazards for the quarry site. These included fire, overturning of equipment and vehicles, on site collisions, accidental detonation of explosives, falling rock and debris from blasting, slope failure, and of course, natural disasters. The emergency response plan recognizes three levels of emergencies. Level 1 are events which can be contained on site, on the public road, or without the assistance of other parties. Such incidents pose no immediate danger to the public or the environment. Level 2 are incidents which require the assistance of external resources from off-site trained staff. However, this emergency does not have the potential to extend to off-site areas. Level 3 is an incident which requires the assistance of national agencies such as the police, fire, or ambulance services. Considerable damage may have occurred or has the potential to occur, or there may be danger to the health and safety of the public. Since the emergency response plan is an action document, it is important to know all of the roles and responsibilities that are there for response. The general manager has the ultimate responsibility and authority for interpretation and execution of the emergency response plan. The quarry supervisor is responsible for determining the level of the emergency, as described previously, and securing the scene. That person is also responsible for liaising with external agencies to alert neighbors in accordance with the community interaction plan. The health and safety officer is responsible for coordinating the actions of the first aiders and for notifying external emergency services such as fire, ambulance service, police service, etc., and the next of kin in the event of injury to workers. Certified first aiders are responsible for administering first aid to any injured persons and also to accompany injured persons to off-site medical facilities. And finally, all employees are responsible for raising the alarm and, if required, calling emergency health services as instructed. The emergency response plan also includes procedures for the following: injury to persons, fire, natural disasters, and equipment and vehicle accidents. These procedures must be communicated to staff as well as the nearby residents in accordance with the Community Interaction Plan. The impact of traffic was also raised at the first public meeting. A traffic impact assessment was conducted with the following objectives. Firstly, to look at the impact of traffic to and from the quarry on the existing and proposed road network. Two, to look at the impact of the existing and proposed traffic on the road system on the proposed quarry. And three, the impact of the proposed access to the proposed quarry on Corito Road. Findings of the traffic impact assessment include: 1. The current peak morning and evening traffic, level of service, and the speeds for the intersection of Abercrombie Street and King Street are acceptable. However, projected peaks are unacceptable. 2. The current peak morning traffic, level of service, and the travel speeds for the intersection of the Eastern Main Road and Abercrombie Street are acceptable. However, the current peak evening traffic, level of service, and travel speeds are unacceptable. 3. The projected peak morning and evening traffic, level of service, and the travel speeds for the intersection of the Eastern Main Road and Abercrombie Street are unacceptable. Corito Road is an east-west, two-lane rural local road which connects to O'Connell Road in the west and the Corito community in the east. The findings of the traffic impact assessment states that for Corito Road to be used as a main access to the quarry, it would have to be widened to accommodate the increase in the number of heavy vehicles using the roadway. This would have to be done before the new quarry is opened. Upgrades to the Corito Road are outlined in a separate presentation which describes the project. Issues with Abercrombie Street have to be addressed immediately because a large number of heavy vehicles are already utilizing these roads in order to gain access to the existing Kusals quarry. These upgrades or changes would have to be done by the relevant government organizations.